dear friends, it's Jazz and Beanie. So this video is going to be about being yourself on camera. So I've gotten some questions about that. I'm going to give you some ideas for that. Okay, so my best advice for being yourself on camera is to imagine like you're talking to somebody who's not the camera. Okay, so for example, if you're really comfortable talking with your best friend, pretend like your best friend is right there in the camera. Okay, so that's the first thing. And that's really going to help with your tone of voice and then also with like your speech cadence. A lot of times when we get in front of a camera, we start to like have these weird speech cadences, like we're explaining something, and we sometimes soften our voice so that we feel like we're not shouting at the camera. But Beanie doesn't care about shouting at the camera, do you, Beanie? Yeah. She's a really good example of how to be yourself on camera. Because she doesn't care, right? So that's another good thing you can do is, you want to put on the mask? Okay. Beanie just does what Beanie wants. There you go. Cute mask, huh? There you are. So that's another thing you can do is like watch videos of babies, because they don't care like what their hair looks like. They don't care if they're wearing a shirt and it's getting all wrinkly. Like, they don't care. So, and that's the other thing is like try to position the camera so that you cannot watch yourself while you record. Okay, so if you have to flip it around so that the screen is on the other side, flip it around. And just like, you can put it on your tripod and then check the square before by having someone else sit in the frame. But getting used to hearing your own voice on camera does take some getting used to. Okay, when you go to the playback and you start hearing your voice, it's going to sound different than your voice sounds in your head, right? And I would say about getting used to it, the only thing to do is to play it back. The only thing to do is to hear yourself over and over and over again, the way that other people hear you. And that's another thing about being on camera is that sometimes the camera will flip the image, right? And then you'll look different than you think you do, because when we see ourselves in the mirror, we see a reflection. We don't see us the way other people see us, because we're looking at a flipped view. So if you look weird to yourself on camera when you watch the playback, don't worry about it, because you don't look weird. You look like yourself the way other people see you. We try and get ourselves completely ready for the day, right? We do our hair, we do our face, we do our teeth, we get ourselves dressed in clothes that we feel good in that day. We do our exercise, we do all our 10 things in the morning, and then we make our videos. And sometimes like we got to make a video before our 10 things are done. And in that case, we just do as much as we can and then take a breath and then let it be enough. First of all, there's always something more you could do, right? Or sometimes I see a hair that's out of place and I go, oh man, I need to take that video again because my hair was out of place. But you know what? Other people are not noticing that as much as I do, because when I watch my video, I watch it to see all the things that could be better. They watch the video to see the information that I'm sharing with them and the attitude and the feeling, right? And then the last thing is you want to show up as your best self. So definitely, if you can do your 10 things before you start doing any videos, same like you would do your 10 things before you walk out of the door in the morning, or same like you would do your 10 things before you go to a meeting with someone who is important to you. You want to do all those things to get yourself dressed and ready so that you can show up as yourself, but as your best and highest self as well. And if you're having a hard time like feeling like your best and highest self, my suggestion to you is to go ahead and do something that pumps up your adrenaline and pumps up your blood, right? So quick breaths, or jumping jacks, or simply stretching up nice and tall and doing a big loud wah, or something like that. Like that really helps me get into myself, right? And hear my own voice and use my own voice and use my hands, use all of me. Because that's the other thing that happens a lot of time when people are doing their own videos is they get in a space and they're in their house and they don't really know who they're talking to. They can't imagine who they're talking to. But I always just imagine I'm talking to a couple of people, either my kids or my best friend. And that's it. Like, it doesn't matter who else might see the video. I imagine in my brain that I'm talking to my kids or my best friend. And then I know I'm going to be myself. So make a list of those people who you can trust and who you can totally be yourself around. And then imagine in your mind that you're talking to that person. And really try and see that person's face in that little camera lens right there. And sometimes I like to hold the camera and sometimes I like to put it on a tripod. And it just depends on the moment and the project that I'm doing. Because sometimes it's a lot more friendlier to just kind of be up close and personal. And allow yourself to laugh. Allow yourself to make a mistake. Allow yourself to say words wrong. And then you can always go back and fix them in editing. And I'll do things like I just did, where I'll say the phrase again. And that's totally fine because you can fix that in editing. So just practice being yourself. Just practice talking out loud. I highly, highly, highly discourage talking to yourself in the mirror unless you're doing affirmations. Okay, I do not practice anything that you're going to do on camera in the mirror because then you'll just start judging yourself. Just do it on the phone. And then if you don't like the first take, do it again. If you don't like the second take, do it again. That's the fantastic thing about living in the digital age. You can do it as many times as you need to. All right, friends, have the best day ever. Be yourself, and I'll see you soon.